What is the secret to success? I mean, is there a formula that others are using that you're just simply not aware of? Well, today on Legacy Ladder, we're going to show you a formula that's not only going to help you in business, but help you change your life. This formula I created deals with math. Have you ever heard the phrase, everything is math? Math is a universal language. This is 1,000% true. Math is a universal language. And I'm going to show you exactly how today. I've done some research, and in my diving into others' lives and what they did to succeed, not only monetarily, but personal development and growth and spirituality, I noticed they all had one thing in common. They all had this formula. They may not have said it verbatim, but their actions showed it. So I created this formula to help give people something visual to hold on to. If you're anything like me, you need something to see. Like I'm the type of person, like, you can't just tell me something. I'll catch on, but I like to see it. I like to be hands on with it. That helps me scale. That helps me grow. That helps me take myself, business, family, and everything to another level. Why? Because I have proof. My wife would tell you, I say all the time, if other humans have done it, I can do it. Like, I might not be able to, I'm talking about outside of my physical body without any additional apparatuses or vehicles or mechanics, just my personal human being self. If I see another human being dunk a basketball, okay, I got it. Bet. Do a couple of calf exercises, some running, get my wind up, lose some weight, do some jumps, practice. I'm all of 5'7", but I assure you, I could dunk a basketball. If I see other human beings work doing brain surgery, I've never done it in my life, nor would I attempt it without the correct education. But if other human beings have done it, I can do it. And that's always been my mindset. Because if I see something, then I know it's possible. So I developed this based solely off of others' success, not implemented in my life to succeed. And I want to share that with you today. The formula is this: why plus what plus when equals how. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by why plus what plus when equals how? And why did I place it in that order? Why didn't I say what plus when plus I equals why? I'm going to break it down to you in this fashion. If you notice, I placed the why far larger than your what, when, and how. Why is that? This is what helps us not only in life, but also in business. If you have a large enough why, everything else is going to fall into place. Most people worry about when to get started in business, or what they're going to do in the first place, or even how they're going to do it. But if you don't have a large enough why, none of that even matters. Take Martin Luther King, for example. Martin Luther King had a very, very huge why. His why was he saw the injustices that were going on with African American people, not only where he was, but across this entire nation. And he decided to do something about it, regardless of if he was going to see and reap the fruits of his labors. You gotta think about it. He dealt with being imprisoned forcefully, uh, being beat, hosed down, dogs thrown, sicked on him, death threat after death threat after death threat. But this man was willing to die and did for a cause that he believed in because he wanted to see a better future, not only for African Americans, but for equality, period. Because he had the understanding. He had the understanding, wait a minute, this is not God's design. We're not designed for a hierarchy, for this set of people to be up here while everybody else is living way down here. He actually spoke a speech. Pretty sure you heard it. But do you know the history behind it? When Martin Luther King stood up to give his I Had a Dream speech, prior to that, he had another speech. This one, he spoke about the political affairs, injustices, and ways to bring about equality. And it was perfect. He was an orator. He knew how to speak. He knew how to move the crowd. He knew what key points to touch, and he was clicking on all cylinders. Then someone behind him whispered to him, "Tell him about the dream. Tell him about the dream." Martin Luther King then moved his notes aside and began to speak from his soul. The I Had a Dream speech was an ad lib. He spoke from his heart. He spoke from his soul. This is something he's been dreaming about his whole life. And if you listen to the speech, he's not just talking about black people. He's not just talking about African Americans. He's talking about equality for all. What a dream. See, that's the beautiful part about a why. You have a big enough why, you don't need a script. It's going to come from your soul. Which leads me to your what. Why does what follow after why? Well, you don't know when or how to do whatever it is you're trying to get off the ground if you don't know what it is that you need to do. So, your what has to be ingrained in you and fueled by your why. There's two parts to this. Your what is best described by a sister that actually won the Pulitzer, I always struggle saying that word, prize. She was a poet, a great poet, an unapologetic poet that stood up in a time where women technically didn't have a voice. She spoke about injustices on paper and was quite vivid with it. She didn't care what you thought. And there was a time, especially in the literary space, where uh, people were looking, well, those that published were looking for something more digestible, if you will, for the readers. This sister here, she didn't care about any of that. She had a voice. She had something to say, and she was going to say it in the exact tone she was experiencing it. I'm talking about Miss Gwendolyn Brooks. This sister knew exactly what she needed to do, regardless of what, regardless of what anybody had to say about it. She was going to speak it. She was going to tell it how it was. And that's exactly what she did. And end up winning the Pulitzer Prize. Now, keep in mind, she was the first woman to receive this high prize. not first African woman, first woman to receive this prize for her poetry. She painted pictures of the cruelty that was going on in America vividly, unapologetic, but she knew exactly what she needed to do. And that's how it's going to come for you. But you have to understand two things with these here. And I'm going to break it down for you. When dealing with your why, one must understand this. Your why is your spirit, spiritual. Your what is your body. This is physical. So when these two align, you are what God designed you to be. Not going too deep off into the religious aspect, but it is what it is. God said, let us make man in the likeness of our image. What does that mean? My son is exactly who I am in his own right. Your spirit is inside of your body. And I'm not talking about anything spooky or anything of that nature, but I'm going to prove it to you. I got this one from the great rapper KRS-One. Love him to death. And I wanted to practice something with you. I want you, everybody that's viewing, to do this. Quick exercise. Whatever your name is, I want you to say it on the count of 3. Not aloud. Close your mouth. And I want you to say it inside your head. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Question. What voice was that? You clearly heard your name. I heard my name. But what voice was that? You heard it clear as day. You heard it as if somebody walked in the room and said your name and you looked up to see who it was. But what voice was that? Here's the kicker. You heard it. Not only was your name spoken by a voice that you don't know, it may have sounded similar to your own tone, but you know good and well you do not use your vocal cords, you do not use your tongue, you do not move your lips, you do not use your breath, and you heard your name. But in addition to that, you know nothing hit your eardrums. So how'd you hear it? This is evidence and proof that we have a spirit. Most believe that most believe that the brain is the mind. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Brain is an organ that operates the body. Your mind is your spirit. This is the voice that you hear. And all this is still talking about business. I'm going to get you there. I'm just going around the corner. In business, when you have a strong enough why, driven by your spirit, that is, just like Dr. Martin Luther King, nothing or no one is going to stop you. Okay? Just like Gwendolyn Brooks. When your what is strong enough, combined with your why, you'll stand up regardless of what anybody says about it. You don't care what it is. I have this product. This is my reason. I'm pushing it. You're going to have naysayers tell you, oh, man, that makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to you. It makes all the sense in the world to me. See, that's the problem. I say it all the time. I don't chase dollars. I chase change. Right? That's why it doesn't make sense to you. Yeah, these are double entendres, but that's the issue right there. You're not spiritually based. Your why isn't big enough. You have a big enough why, the what is going to follow. That simple, that plane. But this is the combination of body and spirit. So what do you mean by that? There's no way to get your body in order if your spirit isn't in order. This has to be in alignment, right? And I understand everybody's not religious. Everybody's not, okay, I get all that, right? But if your why is, say, your family, your mom, you're tired of poverty, you're tired of oppression, you're tired of this hierarchy higher than everybody else, your why is going to be big enough. If you're tired of them putting out fake food and doctors doing fake bills and telling you as soon as you come in you got an ailment, well, what's going on? Me and my wife joked about this. That's the first thing a doctor does. Tell me what's going on. Oh, I have some pain in my body. Okay, where's the pain? The pain is right here. Okay, well, have you been exercising? You know, I exercise a little. Do you smoke or drink? No, I'm not a smoker or drinker. I got a pill for you. Or let me run some tests. We got to do surgery. Wait a minute, you ain't checked on my diet, see if I had any traumatic event in my life or anything spiritually connected. You ain't checked on none of that. They don't even care anymore. It's all about a dollar when we should be chasing change. That's the issue right there. Get your spirit aligned. When your spirit's out of line, what happens? You'll sit up in bed all night long, tossing and turning, tossing and turning, and tossing and turning. Thinking about it. You're not running. You're not lifting anything. You're not doing anything physical. But what happens when you wake up? You're tired. Your body is weak. You're not operating at 100%. These two have to be in alignment. You have to eat the correct foods. That's how you get to the next level. Let me show you. This is the formula. Music. It has to be high vibrational. High vibrational. You have to listen to educational things like this. I was told the other day, with even with this lesson here, someone ran across one of my videos, said, "Man, you know the content is good and everything, but it's so long. It's so long." That's the whole point. I want somebody that's working to get out of the off the hamster wheel, if you will, be able to pop in the AirPod and listen to this. If I'm going to give you 2 minutes worth of knowledge, 3 minutes worth of knowledge, where's the growth? A seed takes time. It has to be nurtured, watered, nurtured, sunlight up, coolness down. You don't want to scorch it. It takes time, it takes growth before it develops into the tree that it's supposed to be. That's why I take my time with my lessons. I want you to get this in its entirety. Okay? High vibrational music, high foods, alkalinic foods. All of this is in combination with your spirit. No alcohol. Okay? No smoking. These things keep these two out of alignment. If your spirit is not aligned with your body, if your why is not aligned with your what, you'll never get to your win. You'll never get to your win. Why plus what equals win. I have no idea what your business venture is. I have no idea the direction that you're trying to go. But I know for a fact, if you don't have a big enough why, your what will never be fueled. Some of you have some great ideas. I've had people come to me and I'm like, good God, why didn't I think of that? I'm talking great ideas. But your passion, your why, isn't strong enough. It isn't big enough. Or you're not tired enough. If you don't have a strong enough why, your what will never be fueled. And if your what's not fueled, you're not going to start. This is your win. You have to know when. Which brings me to Madam C.J. Walker. This is one of the sisters that's not even talked about in school. You know, I've had plenty of history courses, and this sister is rarely ever talked about, right? She created a product, a hairline product, and all of its accessories from scratch. She got tired of seeing sisters and her own hair products just fall out. And she created an entire business around that, employed many people. Now, you got to remember, this is a time where women were not supposed to be standing up like this. We see two greats, Miss Gwendolyn Brooks and Madam C.J. Walker. This was a powerful, powerful, powerful woman that believed in herself. But not only that, guess what she did? She didn't just feed people. She taught people how to be entrepreneurs. She knew how to sell her product, right? Then what did she do? She educated the people, a lot of women, a lot of black women that were up under her to be able to sell like her and become entrepreneurs themselves. That's exactly what this course is about. You could take your money and you could be fine, feet kicked up. But who are you helping? Don't give a person a fish. Go teach them how to fish. This is what Madam C.J. Walker did. And she knew when to do it. When? When the body and when the spirit and body is together, as hers was. When? You want to know when to start? It's always going to be now. The when is always now. The when is always now, so long as these two are aligned. If you have a large enough why that's fueling your what, whatever that product is, whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is you're teaching, whatever direction that you're going, if you have a what that's fueled by that why, the time to start when is always going to be right now. Why? Because you're already aligned. You're already ready. You got to keep in mind, there's a cluster of people out there. It could be millions. It could be a billion that's waiting for you. This is God's design. This ain't mine. This is why I get up and speak. I don't care about you. Whether this is for you or not, I know it's for someone. Tupac once said, I may not be the person to help change, but my goal is to at least spark the interest in someone that will make that change. Now, if we all thought like that, we'll eventually reach change. That's what it's about. I know a lot of wealthy people. I know a lot of people well off. A lot of people. But what are they doing for others? Hmm? Do you feel that comfortable in your mansion? That comfortable driving your family? For a tax cut, you'll give to charity. What is your true intentions? Are you really doing it to help somebody else? If you were doing something to help somebody else, you'll create creators, or at least wake them up, because God made us creators. Let us make man in the likeness of our image. He's a creator. That's what he did. Look around you. That's the beauty of being human. Unlike other creation, we are the only ones that can advance. What do you mean by that? I don't care how much a beaver builds. A beaver will always build a dam. That's what he does. That's his thing. You give him whatever he has. People are taking beavers in their homes. What do? They're going to build a dam right in the hallway to separate this from that. I've never heard of a beaver that said, you know what? I can use some more wood. I think if I hop on this horse, I'll be able to go over there where it's larger logs and bring them back and build a super dam. They're not wired to do that. I've never seen a cheetah, and I believe they run like 60 miles per hour or something of that nature. I've never seen a cheetah say, you know what? I like running the 60, but I think I could do probably about a buck 20, buck 50. If I create a car, not only will I be able to get where I'm going faster, chase that gazelle down way faster, I won't even be tired. My feet can be kicked up. I can have dinner, be back in time, chill with the cubs and all that. I've never seen a cheetah do that. But humans, something in us has us wired to always create, to always scale to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. From rung to rung to rung to rung. This is the importance of Legacy Ladder, to continue scaling higher and higher and higher and higher, and show the ways for those that's coming up behind you. That's the whole importance. This is innately in you. God, He made us creators. Let us make man in the likeness of our image. He's a creator. We have no other choice but to create. It's in us. Well, rap music came out of music, period, came out of nowhere. You gotta think about it. Nobody came out doing anything. Think about it. Your parents speak whatever language they speak. You're a baby. What language do you know? People oversimplify blessings. Oh, well, you heard your parents speaking when you was in the womb and all. What does that mean? I've had plenty of dogs in my life. I've never once heard them speak English. And they've heard me for years on end. I've never heard a dog speak English, ever. See, so you as a human, you as one of God's creation, one of God's childs, it is your duty to create. That is your job. So, just like Madam C.J. Walker, she created a business and she taught those behind her how to become creators themselves. This is the recipe. Large enough why, going to fuel your what. Your win is always going to be now. That's when you take action. Which leads us to the how of the entire equation. How do you do it? How do you do it? Well, I would probably have to lean on Mr. Nelson Mandela for this one. This brother was incarcerated for 27 years. Oh, excuse me, wrongfully incarcerated for 27 years. First of all, how did he make it through that? How did he make it through that? He had a strong enough why. He knew what he had to do. He was already doing, he took action, which led him to being incarcerated, which came about to the how. How is what he was trying to do in the first place. What did he want? Liberation. Liberation. He wanted freedom for his people. He got tired of being massacred and killed and treated wrong. Somebody had to stand up and do something about it. If you would have stood up first, this is why the equation doesn't work in any other order. Well, how do we do something about this? Your how is not going to show you when to act. You ask how. How do we? You'll never get to win. How do we do something about this? You're not, now you're stagnant. You don't know your win. You may know what you need to do, but the equation is broken. And you asking why? Well, why are we doing it? Now that's when people give up. The equation doesn't work in that fashion. Just like in business, you may have a product right now. You know exactly what your product is. You know what the what is. You know what the brand is. You know what your niche is. You know what that is. But if you start asking yourself why afterwards, guess what? That idea is going to get tabled. You may know when you would like to start. Oh man, this product is always hot around summertime. We got to be ready summertime. summer 2026. We're going to be out there. It's in Atlanta. Then they're going to Chicago. We ready. We're going to step out there. That's when we're going to do it. You may know when, and you may even know what you're selling. But if your why is not large enough, if your why is only about money, guess what? It's going to fizzle out. It, it's going to fizzle right on out. Remember Pogs? I'm a little old, I was a kid back then. Pogs and Jacks, remember those toys? I remember when kids, marbles, people made a lot of money off that stuff. Cards, baseball cards, basketball cards. Oh, I got the new Kevin Johnson. I got Jordan. At one time, as far as trading, because people are still making money off that stuff, but at one time, that was the it. That was the it. Their why was centered around making some money. But guess what? That cause wasn't big enough. If what you're doing and why you're doing it is solely fueled off of making some money, guess what? It's going to fizzle right on out. This equation is not for that. This equation is not to make money. This equation is for success. Let me ask you a question. Did Martin Luther King succeed? Did Gwendolyn Brooks succeed? Did Madam C.J. Walker succeed? Did Nelson Mandela succeed? Yes. It wasn't because they were solely based off of money. They were all trying to help somebody else. Every last one of them. That's the recipe. When you add your why, plus your what, plus your when, it's going to show you exactly how to do that. Now keep in mind, some of y'all hows, or the direction that you're going, should I say, is centered around going to school. Now me, a lot of people know me. I'm not big on the education system, but I am big on using it as a tool. What do you mean by that? Say I set out to become a doctor. I put my 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it is, into my education. I become a doctor, right? Now I'm in debt, X amount of $1,000 before I made $1 becoming a doctor. Now I start working as a doctor, and it's like, okay, I'm glad I became a doctor, because I'm making a lot of money. Once I pay this debt off, I'm good. Okay, I'm 30 years into practice. I'm 40 years into practice. Debt's paid off, credit's up, got the house, got the cars, I got the wife, all is well. My issue with that direction is this. I have a son. I'm near retirement. I can't just say, okay, son, you are now a doctor. Here you go. It doesn't work like that. The education system was set up to build workers. Am I knocking education? Absolutely not. Knowledge is power. But knowledge and education is two totally separate things. Here's knowledge. Same path, same doctor, same debt. Difference with knowledge is, okay, I did this. I want to pay that debt off because now I make enough money to do that. Credit is intact. Now I can leverage that personally. Why? Because I have the high income to leverage that. I'm going to use OPM, other people's money, now to purchase assets. So now I just quantified my income. Not only am I making money as a doctor, I have several assets that pay me residually. I don't have to be there. I don't have to clock in. Oh, it's cool being a doctor and I love helping people. Don't get me wrong, but now I'm going to open a practice. I have my own practice. UCLA Medical, you cool, but I'm not trying to be up under you. UC Davis, you cool? I'm not trying to be a Kaiser. You straight? I'm just not trying to be up under you. I'm trying to do my own thing, right? We're going to call this Hunter Medical. We're hunting the ill. We're hunting the sick. We're looking to help people. Now, like Madam C.J. Walker here, my win, I'm going to employ others up under me. And then I'm going to show them, listen, you're doing great with sonography. You know that you could purchase your own machine, though, right? And you can begin your own ultrasound. Mothers love to see their babies, and you get a machine cost. Yeah, it's gonna cost a lot, but yeah, you can branch that off from there. I love to partner with you. See where I'm going with this? This is the importance of knowledge versus education. Education have you stagnant. Education have you 30, 40 years waiting for a retirement. That they spoon feed you monthly while they've taken your income and traded it on the stock market and invested it in 10x, 20x, 30x your income. Why would I invest into something that I have to wait 65 years, of which they're getting ready to increase, before I can utilize my own money? Makes no sense to me. I worked with this one company before, and I didn't buy into the 401k. Now I'm a little different. I used to color outside the lines in school. That's just me. Um, Everybody looked at me crazy. You're not. We match up to 5%. You match up to 5%. I need to do the math on this. This. Oh yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna think about it. Match up to 5% of my income. So you mean to tell me if I put this in there, the math, I forget, it came up to like, I don't know, $500 a month or something like that, combined with what I put in and what they put in. I got an additional 500. But keep in mind, I can't touch it. I'm 65. So I'm doing the math. $500 a month times 12 months. That puts me at $6,000. Okay, over the course of 20 years, that put me at $120,000. Can I make $120,000 in 20 years on my own without being penalized? I'm pretty sure I can. Let me break it down to annually. Can I make $6,000? Why would it take me Why would it take me a year to make $6,000? What are you doing with my money while I don't have it? The math wasn't mathing. So I didn't invest in the 401k. I decided to bet on myself. Why? My why was big enough. You gotta understand this. When you become a parent, I know there's a lot of parents out there and those that desire to have children. When you have children, your why becomes this thing here. This thing really blows up. I had a cousin, man. This guy would, I don't know how he did it, man. He would commute and commute and commute. I've heard of him having 3 jobs to make one. This is himself to bring in an income to make sure that his is okay. You become Superman when them children come in. Your why is like way, way bigger when you're doing it for somebody else. That's my whole point. It doesn't necessarily have to be family. But for me, I feel bad walking by people and I know that they're starving. Everybody that's homeless is not on drugs. To be clear about that. A lot of people are displaced because of inflation, right? Because of a system that cares nothing about them. A lot of people are displaced because they went to school for a career that's not even relevant anymore. And they have all this debt. They were forced to do something that was illegal because they ran out of options. Now they're incarcerated with a record. Now they're coming back out trying to do it all over again. They had the right why, but their spirit wasn't aligned. You gotta have your spirit aligned with your why. You can't lose hope. You can't lose faith. You're gonna get there. You know what your why is. That's what's gonna fuel your what. With your what? Remember, get that body in order. Sometimes you gotta just go on a juice diet. right? Everybody I understand they not good with fasting, and hey, it's educational purposes right here what I'm teaching you, but I'm not a nutritionist and none of that. But I'm telling you about what happened for me. I go on a fast. I go on a 2-3 day fast. Sometimes I go on just water fast. Sometimes I go on no food that fast. And I don't need it to be Ramadan or anything, but I need the clarity, right? I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm trying to get somewhere. And I know I need to kill the flesh. This is how you get to the next level. I'm gonna get you there. Music, you can't look. I love rap. Rap has a message, and that's not the only music I listen to. I'm just using it as an example because people always try to down talk. No, 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 no. Rap has a message, and I ain't talking about all the negative drill. I ain't talking about none of that. But it's a time and place for everything. It's a time and place for rock and roll. To be clear, it's a time and place for classical. It's a time and place for silence, right? Sometimes you may have to abstain from that. You definitely need to abstain from alcohol. And these are nothing but chemicals. Smoking and drinking, that ain't nothing but a chemical. It does nothing for your temple. Zero. So if you're trying to get to the next level, you're trying to get your body to align with your spirit, you have to be conscious of these things here. You have to be. You have to be conscious of the things that you let into the windows of your eyes. They always gonna bring something up for you. You scroll through any one of these platforms. Next thing you know, you're gonna see a woman that's showing off her. It's like, come on, you don't even respect the earth. The earth that God gave you. You are our pro. You bring life in. I've never met a man that can carry a baby. There will be no life without you. You just showing it all for the for money? Your why is not big enough. Your why is over here for money. Stop doing that to yourself, sisters. Stop doing that to yourselves. Brothers, get yourself together. Get your body, get your spirit together. Get these two aligned. Guess what? You're gonna know when. When is when. When is always now. Now leads to how. That clothing line, that clothing line is lined up with something spiritual. Guess what? You're gonna be a blessing. That clothing line, the monies that you plan on getting at, God knows your reasoning. Guess what? It's gonna be a blessing. It's my prayer. Bless me to be a blessing. Bless me to be a blessing. Hair product, bless me to be a blessing. Right? A lot of young sisters grow up putting braids in their hair, putting dyes in their hair, and begin up losing their hair. You wonder why? You got a hairline product for them? God bless me to be a blessing. I might have to start off white labeling, but I got something I want to add to it. I want to add some honey to it. Huh? I want to add some hemp seed to it. Huh? Once I get my money up, I just need it, God. I just need the products. I have the base. Just like my mama when she used to cook, she used to make her own little roux. When she make that roux, yeah, she got her own little hookup. That's what's gonna bring out the meat. All that tastes totally different. Why? Her reasoning, that love was in there. You know, the whole reason, and we get far fuller. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all grew up with big households and all that. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking. Seem like everybody ate. We never went without. That's how it's gonna be in business with you. That's how it's gonna be for finance with you. If you're doing it for your family and doing it for your community and doing it for your city and doing it for your state and doing it for your nation, your reason is change. You ain't chasing dollars. You're chasing change. That's a big old why. Guess what? It's gonna fuel your what? I don't care what the what is. It's going to work. But now you got to get your spirit, your mind. Remember that voice. Say your name in your head. That spirit is what guides this. When this is aligned, now you're ready for action. Now you're Superman. Now you're Superwoman. Okay? When? Now. Your how is going to come. You're going to start meeting people. You're online. You're going to keep people following you. You're like, oh my God, I just put out some content. Now I got 1 million viewers there. Or wait, I put out some content. I don't have 1 million viewers. But the little 50 I got, the little 20 I got, these are some powerful people. They've connected me to this person. They connected me to the summit. I didn't even know they held a summit over here. That's how God sets you up. So continue doing the work. Use this recipe for success. Know your why. Make sure you got a big enough why. Know your what. Add your what. Let your what be fueled by your why. That's going to show you when. That's going to show you when to take action. Don't worry about nothing. The win is going to be now. Why? Because you're ready. And God is going to give you exactly how to do it. All right? So that's the end of this lesson. May have to do a part 2 on this one. May have to do a part 2 on this. I got some good stuff for you guys. So stay tuned. And remember, always seek to be a blessing so that you can bless.